Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is your Arabic teacher Sam and a very warm welcome to the latest episode of Arabic Grammar Time. It's a Thursday, so as always we do an episode of Grammar Time where we go over sort of 4 or 5, sometimes we have a little treat and we do 6 different kind of very common grammar mistakes that I've spotted throughout the week and I just kind of share them with you. It's a nice way for you guys just to make some little tweaks to your Arabic, learn, so sometimes people learn like 5 new rules as well, which is quite nice too, and yeah, so sit back, relax and enjoy it. First and foremost, a little announcement. Basically, I'll just let you guys after this video to comment below anything that you guys struggle with, anything that you guys, a mistake that you guys make regularly or you see people make regularly, stick it below, inshallah, and I'll try to add it to one of my, one of my videos at one point. So yeah, so let's get into it. Yeah, let's not dilly dally. We'll get into it, inshallah. So let me get my pen tablet working. So, okay, so firstly, it's something to do with numbers. I know a lot of students really struggle with numbers, and frankly, numbers are, they can be in some ways some of the most sort of counterintuitive bits of Arabic grammar to learn, but they're not impossible. Do you know what I mean? Like when people speak to you and tell you that, you never learn Arabic numbers, they're so hard, don't take this insult. It's assuming that you're not smart enough, and you're all smart enough, and well, some of you might not be. Just kidding. So anyway, so number 1, okay, something to do with numbers. In Arabic, we tend to teach the numbers as ordinal and cardinal. You tend to hear those terms. And what we mean by ordinal numbers are when we're saying things like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Yeah, like where you would come if you were in a race. And when we talk about cardinal numbers, we're literally just talking about how we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the thing that I've spotted recently is how people do the ordinal numbers higher than sort of 10. Do you know what I mean? Like, and these are things that a lot of the time people just don't tend to learn the first time round when they learn Arabic the first time round. So what we tend to do in Arabic, this is kind of the normal rule, right? Like between kind of, well, actually 1 to 10 actually, you just take the root letters of the number and you put them in the fa'il. Okay, so what we mean by that is, the number, for example, thalatha. We have the number thalatha, number 3, okay? Thalathatun. Okay, the root letters are tha, lam, and tha, right? So we have thalith, thalithun. Okay, that means the third. Thalithun is the third, right? We tend to take the root letters of the number into the fa'il, and that's how we get the ordinal numbers. So, yeah, so not 1 and 2. The number 1 is awwal, 2 is athani, so yeah, fair enough, number 2. 3, thalith. 4 becomes al-rabi', 5, khamsa becomes al-khamis. The only trick one is the number sitta. You would look at it and you would think that the root letters are sin, ta, and ta, with sittatun. But it's actually dal is in there. We have sadis. So as-sadis is the 6th. 7th, as-sabi'. 8th, as-thamin. And then 9th, as-tasi'. And then the 10th is al-ashir. But they don't behave like that above those numbers, above that. So the thing that I've spotted the most is people assume that we apply that same rule with multiples of 10. So let me give you an example. Let's have, for example, the number for 40, okay? Arba'a, okay? So that's just 4. Arba'un is 40. Arba'una. So a lot of people think that we kind of take just the number 4 ordinal, rabi', and then we just add una on the end. Rabi'una. Okay, that's a mistake. I'm going to put that in red because that's a mistake. Okay, you don't do that. You don't do rabi'una. It's not even a word. Unless you were talking about a group of people who all came fourth in something, you could refer to them as the rabi'una, the fourths. So something like that. I don't know if that'd be the plural, but yeah, but it could be. But yeah, in theory it might be. But that's not how we say the 40th, right? The way we say the 40th is all we do is this: we put alif and lam before the word arba'un. Al-arba'un. It's just like saying the 40. Arba'una. Al-arba'una is how you get the 40th. Okay, it's. All it is you putting alif and lam at the beginning. You're just putting al, yeah? Like the word, yeah, arba'un means 40, but then al-arba'un is 40th, yeah? And then that's even the same with, with ordinal numbers between those as well. So if you were to have like if you're to have like the 45th, yeah, الخامسة والأربعون, yeah, you'd have الخامس, yeah, or الخامسة if you describe something feminine, to say the 45th, right? Only thing to remember, I suppose, is that they don't take gender. There's no expression of gender with the multiples of 10 in the ordinals. No expression of gender, but there is expression of case. And case is just rather than arba'una, is arba'ina. Yeah, that's just the expression of case. Okay, that's what you need to worry about. I know that correction is a little bit more advanced. Today, the corrections that I have for you guys are just a little bit more advanced. So buckle your seatbelts. Yeah, because we're getting into something which is a little bit more advanced. But even if it is a little bit ahead of you, just use it as kind of just prep for when you encounter these things, inshallah. The second mistake is this. Perhaps I'll just demonstrate the mistake to you first, and then we'll talk about what the mistake is. So, for example, having words like this, راقي, راقي, sorry, راقي, or باقي, باقي, راقي, ناسي, ناسي. Those words have mistakes in them. What is the mistake? The mistake is when we have final weak verbs. Final weak verbs, which are like this: fa'ain, and then they have a weak letter on the end. Yeah. So like fa'a, for example. Yeah, that's a weak pattern. Fa'a, or like fa'iya. Yeah, that's a weak pattern. Okay, that's what a final weak verb is. Okay. Normally what happens when we use the active participle, okay, this is another, we're talking about this again, we've got the fa'il, we're talking about the fa'il again. With any normal verb, any normal strong verb, we'd have something like katibun, katibun. But then when we do that with a final weak verb, something happens, something unexpected happens, unfortunately. We can't just have raqiyun or baqiyun in the indefinite, okay? In the indefinite, we can't have that. I don't know if it's just that Arabic doesn't like the sound iyun on the end, baqiyun, yeah? I'm not sure what the real technical reason is, but actually what we end up with is this. We end up with raqin, raqin, yeah? That's how it's expressed when it would have been double dhamma or double kasra. Both of those are expressed as raqin, raqin. Cool. If it's mansoob and you have raqiyan, that's okay. Yeah, you can say that. You can say raqiyan. A raqi, by the way, is someone who does a ruqya. Someone who does like spiritual healing. That's kind of a secular term for it, I suppose. But someone who does a ruqya or exorcisms or something is a raqi. Yeah, you would say ar-raqi in the definite. That's fine. You can say ar-raqi, the raqi. But if it's in the indefinite, you just can't say raqiyun. The way you get around it is rather than having double dhamma, you just put kasras at the bottom. Raqin, raqin. So that's why you'll have raqin. If something's remaining, you can have the term baqin, baqin. You can have the term for someone that is forgetting or forgetful, nasin, nasin. Yeah. From the verb nasiya, to forget. Nasin would be the fa'il. Raqin, baqin. Whatever else. Any kind of final weak verbs. The fa'il of final weak verbs expresses being marfu' with kasras in the indefinite. That's a really specific rule, isn't it? But that mistake's everywhere among students who, just haven't been taught it. Just haven't been taught it. I kind of teach it on my program as a little extra with the final week's verbs lesson. That's at lesson 17 or something. I just do as a little extra because as well, there are very advanced students who don't understand that yet. It's it's not something that you should be too hard on yourself. Like in the list of things that the Arabic student needs to learn, I would say that expression of case in the fa'il of final weak or naqis verbs is very low on the list of things that you need to have mastered. But it's a mistake, so we'll talk about it anyway. Third one is a bit quicker for us to deal with. Normally in Arabic, words to do with time have a fatha. Okay, so let me give you an example. So al-yawm Okay, if we're saying today, we say اليوم. Or if we're saying tomorrow, we say غدا for tomorrow. So a lot of the time students assume, I'll put this in red because it's wrong, that MC for yesterday is written أمس. But no, it's not أمس. Unfortunately, أمس is an exception to this, and we say MC. You can say يوم MC as well, but MC means yesterday. Just remember that it's written with a kasra, like that. You don't just say أمس on the end of a word, at the end of a sentence, the same way you say اليوم. Yeah? Cool, that was the third one. Fourth one, let's keep the ball rolling. Fourth one, it's just to remind you guys of some kind of hidden feminine words. So in Arabic, 99% of the time, we know if a word is feminine if it has a tet madbuta on the end. That will serve you 99% of the time. If it has a tet madbuta on the end, it's feminine. If it doesn't, it's not. But there are some exceptions to this. I'll go through them obviously in the program, but I'll reel some of them off for you now. There are a group of words which do not have tet madbuta, but they just are feminine, and they just are. And you just need to be aware of that and just know them, okay? So for example, the word nar is feminine, the word dar is feminine, the word harb is feminine, the word rih is feminine, the word shams is feminine, shamsun is feminine, ard is feminine, sama is feminine. So those are just some of the words, right? Those are just some of the words. Even bitter, I believe, for well, bitter. Bitterun is feminine too. So those are just some words. I mean, usually when we teach it, we kind of teach students that a lot of words to do with nature. But I mean, not all of them are. Like dar, meaning a building or a house. That's not to do with nature, is it? Nor is a harb, a war. Or rih, it's rih is the wind. Nar, I mean, it's not really to do with nature, is it? Fire. I suppose it is, but I suppose it is also to do with nature. But shams, arad, not ars, arad, sama, those are to do with nature, I suppose. But there's just 8 of examples. Those are the ones I've seen students make mistakes with. But all of those are feminine, and there are examples in the Quran as to why we know that they're feminine as well. Their usage in the Quran is feminine. Yeah, so we know that they're feminine, but they're just exceptions to the rule that we learn. The last correction is a lot of the time when students learn the animals in Arabic, when students are trying to make animals feminine, they assume that it's the same as humans. So let me give you some examples of some animals. Let's have asad. Asadun means a lion. Let's have a batriqun, means a penguin. I love penguins. Let's have, or actually just to demonstrate as well, there are animals, zarafa, which have a tat madbuta on the end, right? Zarafa. So a lot of the time, when students see those, they think that they can change the gender just by adding a tat madbuta on the end. You can say asada for lioness, or batriqa for penguiness, female penguin. They think you can say zaraf for a male giraffe. Yeah, you don't do that. Okay, this isn't what you do, unfortunately, in Arabic. What you do is you can just say dhakar before it to say male, or untha to say female. Yeah, so if you, because most of the time, I did a podcast on this a while ago on animals, but most of the time, it doesn't matter what gender it is. Do you know what I mean? Most of the time when we're talking about a penguin, we're not really referring to it. It's only when we're talking about animals mating, really, when we need to refer to them being male or female. Do you know what I mean? It's only really when that is part of the conversation, when you need to mention they're male or female. Because most of the time, it's just a giraffe. Or maybe when they're fighting. It's only really the males that fight each other, but yeah. So we normally just say dhakar batriq. Yeah, dhakar batriq, or dhakar zarafa, or untha zarafa, or untha batriq, if we're saying that it's masculine or feminine. That's just how we do it most of the time, right? Unless, so that's how we do it most of the time. It's only in cases where, just like in English, we have some words that the feminine of that animal, or the female of that animal is just a different word. Like with asad, you can't actually say untha asad. You can't say the female lion. You just say the lioness, which in Arabic is a lebu'a. Lebu'a. You know, there aren't loads of animals that are like that though, really. It's usually to do with like, I don't know, it's animals of significance in some kind. I mean, the lion, I suppose, just 'cause it's such an iconic animal, we have different words for lion and lioness. But it's usually words to do with like farms. You know, we have like a baqarah is specifically a cow, right? But a bull is a thawr. Yeah, you have specifically different words for, you know, for the different ones. And just like we do in English, you know, we have a lebu'ah for a lioness, and an asad is a lion. So yeah, so genders of animals are not done in the same way that they are with adjectives and stuff. Yeah. So if there's not a separate word for the male and the female of that species, what you do is you just use the word with dhakar or untha before it. That's the rule. Okay. I don't want to see any of my students saying asadatun for a lioness, or just a baqar for a male cow, or yeah, I don't want to see that. Yeah, that's how we do genders with animals. So that's everything for this episode of Grammar Time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and benefited from it. If you did, then please like the video and please share it with other people who think might benefit from it as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. So that's it. Next thing we'll do is tomorrow's video will be, if you missed out on the live Q&A that I did on Wednesday, tomorrow's video here on the YouTube channel will be, I'll put that live Q&A on YouTube so you can catch up on all the things that we discussed, all the topics we covered, and all the questions that were asked. Yeah, so that's what will be on Friday. So yeah, but the next time, but we'll do a live Q&A here on Sunday. So make sure you guys come over on Sunday. Be in the evening sometime. We'll try to do it about 5 p.m. or something like that. Last week it was way too late. It was like midnight or something. But this week, inshallah, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., something like that. We'll do a live Q&A here on the YouTube channel, so you guys can come and get involved in that if you have any questions at all about learning Arabic or how I can help. So that's it. We'll sign off. I'll let you guys get on with your day. Hope you have a really, really nice evening. See you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.